Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. It feels like a long time since we did an actual podcast, doesn't it, JG? And a lot has happened since then. Exciting stuff, mate. Acapulco, Dubai, lots of stuff to talk about, my friend.
Yeah, it's not in the title. We'll talk about some women's tennis as well as it goes on. But let's begin with a bit of Acapulco. Obviously, we covered earlier Karatsev versus Rublev. Epic match. If you've not caught any of the live watch along, it's a good one to watch. There's some good little highlights in there, and Karatsev was just amazing. But we'll talk about that one in a bit. Let's focus on Acapulco, one we've kind of neglected this year. Do you not think?
Well, we don't have much choice. It's all on at ridiculous o'clock in the morning, and whilst we're sleeping, Lorenzo Mussetti is going to work, and he seems to be sort of the highlight player that they're putting on last every single day, that people are more clamoring to see him play against some big players and making some massive results, and even bigger than some would argue his last results. He beat Wawrinka obviously in the Masters, he beat Nishikori in the Masters. Now he seems like he's taken it to the next level. He's on the hard courts doing it, mate. This is incredible. I'm blown away by him.
It is amazing, like you say, what he's doing. I think doing it on the hard courts kind of took me and you by surprise a little bit. We didn't expect him to be as comfortable as what he is. He's 19 years old. He's just now broken the top 100 in the world, which is an incredible achievement.
Yeah.
I think does that mean, is he higher than Alcaraz now? That's what I was going to ask you.
I believe so, yeah. I believe that Alcaraz, don't forget Alcaraz managed to make it into the Grand Slam, though, which is the one thing he has sort of on his side above Musetti. But Musetti has had the better body of work going down the ATP events, and we haven't really seen that from Alcaraz yet. He's had that one win against Albert Ramos, which was anybody seems to sort of can beat Albert Ramos on their day. A bit unfair, but
I think we've got to wait for Alcaraz. He's going to have his day, but right now it's Musetti's time in the sun. And Acapulco, I don't know if you want to bring it up. We'll have a look at some of the people he's been beating already, because it is remarkable. He's not had the easiest of draws. You've got to remember as well, he had to go through the qualifiers to get into this tournament, and he's just taking his opportunity. That's what it's all about. And it's like watching a qualifier take their chance. You look in Dubai as well. Lloyd Harris, he's done exactly the same. He was a qualifier and he's taking his chance. So starting off there, he started off really bad, in fact, against some completely unknown Mexican guy, Hernandez, with the most stereotypical Mexican name. And he beat him, but he lost the first set, which was a bit of a weird one. This complete random guy. He come through that. The other guy is not the best. Expect him to win that. Ferreira Silva's a class player. Really good. He beat, what's his name? Stebby. In one of the round of qualifiers. One of them, I think I meant Musetti, but we'll be all right. But then, as you see there, after that, he was fine, mate. And are you missing one there? I thought maybe you need to click on him, mate, I think
it's just, it's going to be easier if I just look down the other way, I think. Just bear with me 1 second.
I thought that's what he was going to do.
It's frustrating me looking at it like that, because it's just too much stuff. The whole thing moves up and down as I'm doing it. I was going to say, that was obviously the big result from last night for us, which was Grigor Dimitrov, and then we can have a look.
That's his best one, isn't it? You'd have to say. I think you could probably say Schwartzman in terms of Schwartzman's higher ranked, but Dimitrov for me on the hard courts, he's a better player than what Schwartzman is. So I think that is remarkable, and to do it in straight sets is really good. I think that it's not even the fact that he's winning. I think it's the nature of how he's winning. He wins with flair. You watch the highlights. I've not been able to watch any match live. I've watched the highlights, all of them, and it's just pulling off big shots. Like, he never seems to be beaten. He looks stronger now. He's definitely hit the gym. His body looks a lot more conditioned. He seems up for it mentally. I just don't see anyone really phasing him. I know next round is going to be the toughest test yet. It's going to be Stefanos Tsitsipas. part of me thinks he could win. I know it's crazy. I really do think he could be the surprise package and win that one.
Yeah, indeed, mate. I think so too. I think this is just like a sort of, I don't know, a perfect test before coming up against someone like Stefanos Tsitsipas, who obviously has his own single-handed backhand as well. Grigor Dimitrov, he's up there with some of the best on hard courts. And if you've gone past him in straight sets, and now you're going to be, well, he could have had it done even quicker. That was the thing, Musetti. He had those match points at, I think it was 5-4? And then he got pegged back. I think it was just inexperience and just nerves crept in a little bit. Let's just have a look at the match there. As you can see, where was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, he had 4 match points. He actually had a 5th match point there at 6-5 as well. And then he finally got it done in the tiebreak. So I mean, pretty outstanding to still like regain your composure at such a young age. Whereas a lot of players, you might have seen them just like capitulate there. We've seen it happen to even Alcaraz against lesser opposition in the qualifiers for Grand Slams against Vukic. Remember Alexander Vukic? Alcaraz had match points against him, lost that set in the second set, and then lost the match as well in the third. So just goes to show Musetti, he's got an old head on young shoulders, and it seems he's improving all the time, which is so well. And like you said, on the hard courts, just we're shocked to see how well he's playing on them.
He's flying through the rankings as well. If you go up a little bit, what does his ranking say there? That's his old one. So 120. As far as I know now, I think he's like 94th in the world. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But he's broken the top 100. That's one of the hardest things you can do as a tennis player. We've spoke to a few of them. They say breaking that top 100 and staying inside the top 100 is one of the greatest things they've done in terms of it's really, really difficult. He's done that with relative ease at 19 years old. The sky's the limit now. The sky's the limit. I think you look at, say, what other players are doing, like the likes of Karatsev, just coming from nowhere. Mussetti's a young guy. He's got bags of potential. I see him potentially moving into sort of the old Karatsev positions of like 40, 50 soon, personally. I think he's going to be thereabouts in a lot of tournaments. The clay court swim coming up. Watch out for him as well. That's going to be a great season. At the end of the day, we can't expect too much and pile too much pressure. If he can remain, say, inside the top 100 this year, I think that's a brilliant year. For me, it's like his main sort of break. Well, it's not the breakout year. It's like the second year of the breakout. But this is the year where people sort of know about him and he's entering a lot more main draws. So this is where we need to see what he's made of and how far he can go. But personally, I'm predicting about 40, 50 in the world.
Mate, I mean,
maybe 50.
If you see where he's come from last year, everybody might have called it a fluke, might have just said, oh, it's beginner's luck, just getting onto that big stage, and then beating an out-of-sort Stan, coming back from injury Nishikori. This just proves and solidifies the fact that he is the real deal. He's here to stay. He's made it inside the top 100, like you say. Carlos Alcaraz down in 132 at the moment. So he's really upped the ante on Alcaraz. Those were the sort of the standout 2 young players that people were looking at. And he sort of said to him, look, this is what I've got in the locker. And he's done the same thing that Alcaraz has done. He's now proven that he can do it on the hard courts and do it even better than what Alcaraz was doing it, which is so Alcaraz obviously had.
I think they're both as good.
Zverev, he had Zverev.
That's true. He had a bit of a tougher draw. You can't really be too harsh on him. But let's have a look at his head-to-head because I'm interested to see some of the players he's played this year. He started off, I believe, in Challenger in Spain and then Italy as well.
Let me go all the way back to the beginning of the year.
So that's Antela. You start from Antela, mate.
There you go.
Everything. So, he did all right there. Obviously, come up against Munar. It's a bit of a tricky one. It can happen, mate.
Munar, really good player. So,
3 sets as well. Bit Chemical, really good player. Tabilo as well. So.
Always like Chemical. Always makes me think of Chemical.
Mate, Seppi, the old school Italian. He beat him. Lost to Kwon Soon. And I think that was the final, I believe.
Was it the semi-final? That was in the final, of the Biella Challenger.
So he got to the final there, lost that. Bit disappointing, but it can happen. He's still doing well. He's beating people. But really, it's when it all happened with Acapulco. Look at that. He's just gone on an absolute tear. So you've got, Schwartzman, Tiafoe, and Dimitrov all on hard court. Tiafoe, remember, he's a brilliant hard court player. Dimitrov, even better yet again. It seems to just keep getting better and better for him.
Yeah.
He did a straight sets against Dimitrov. What can he do against Tsitsipas? It's your time now, Ben, to give me your prediction for Acapulco. I've looked at the draw or on the tennis draw challenge, and neither of us really have a chance to win it, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a shame.
But what do you think? Can he beat Tsitsipas?
Well, that's it. I mean, I was just going to bring up their little head-to-head thing there, just so that we can look at it at the same time, just so that it's a bit nicer for us. There you go. And we can have a look at Tsitsipas and what he's been up to. He's obviously been playing, Benoit Paire in the first round. His first round. Easy. John Isner, never an easy person to play, but Tsitsipas made easy work of him, 6-3, 6-2. And then Felix, we went to 3 with Felix. And good performance. Felix, up and down player, as we know, but he can still get to finals of ATP events, and we've seen him get to many, many finals, yet to win one. But Tsitsipas, much the stronger player, would expect him to go through. It's a real tough one for me. For me, Tsitsipas has all the ability, but has also the ability to throw an odd match, like he did against Ugo Humbert as well. Humbert was able to defeat him, and that was on the hard courts as well. And I think Mussetti's got a very good chance. I don't think this is just going to be a walk in the park for Tsitsipas. I think that we could see this go to 3.
Yep.
And we could see both players maybe struggling to close out like sets. I reckon it could be a nervy one, as much like this Rublev-Karatsev one earlier.
I don't think Tsitsipas is going to be that nervous, personally, because he's been at bigger stages right now. However, there is a bit of a crowd. They could get on his back a little bit. They're going to be cheering on Musetti, most likely. He looks like a very popular player out there. Everyone seems to be getting behind him. The crowd's quite electric at times for Musetti. I personally see it going through. I think Tsitsipas is going to have a little bit too much in the third, but that'll be a brilliant achievement regardless. If Musetti can force it to 3 against Tsitsipas, number 5 in the world, I think that says everything we need to know about the guy and his future.
Well, mate, I think,
for me, that's a win in itself. Get to 3 sets, and that's an incredible achievement for him.
Well, he's already won, really, in his,
exactly.
Out of all of this, if whatever he does, he's won in this tournament.
Yeah,
for sure. If he does a great match against Tsitsipas, I would love to see it. But the thing is, if he has a great match against Tsitsipas, he might beat him. And that's the scary thing. He did it against Dimitrov and have a great match. And Dimitrov played well. It wasn't like Dimitrov was playing badly. Dimitrov played well, and he still got beaten in straight sets by this kid. And this kid is that good. I think that he could really cause some waves in this ATP rankings. And someone like Tsitsipas, if that backhand starts going like whoop, shanking, I think we could see an upset, mate. And then
4 a.m. you can see it there. It's such a shame we can't watch it.
No, it's so annoying. 4 a.m. What are they doing to us?
But anyway, there's going to be someone else in the final playing either of these two. So let's get on to the other semi-final.
Yes,
and that's going to be an all-German affair. We've got Zverev versus Koepfer.
We have indeed.
Another one which not that straightforward. I think Zverev should have a little bit too much for Koepfer. But Koepfer's played well as well, also beating some big players along the way.
Yeah, let me just bring these guys up as well, because it's another one. Just when I can't really not. I struggle with my words just because it's hard to really say definitely. Oh yeah, Zverev Tsitsipas is going to be the final, because this guy absolutely demolished Raonic, and Raonic's game is similar to Zverev, big serving. And he absolutely destroyed Raonic. The second set was 6-2. I'm like, he was my favourite to win, Raonic, and Koepfer completely blew him out the water. So I have total respect. We know how much we love Dominic Koepfer, and for me,
he's someone who did it last year. He broke through. He's 71 in the world. I think that's bizarre, but he fully deserves it. Let's see how he does this year. He's been a bit quiet. I've not seen him in many tournaments. But before we talk about that, I just want to give a shout out to Chris Mir in the chat.
Hey.
With a nice super chat there. Thanks for joining us, mate. And he's saying, I hope Musetti wins, but he must be very tired. Cheers, guys. Yeah, cheers, mate, for joining us.
Yeah,
and I want to ask you, Chris, while you're here, hopefully you've got some of your tennis algorithms and models.
Ooh.
I want to know, what are Musetti's chances of actually beating Tsitsipas? I know you're a man with all the stats. Let us know in very straightforward terms, because we're not the smartest, me and Ben. What is Musetti's actual probability chance of winning? I made up a word there.
His probability.
It's probable. Winning. Is it probable?
What is the probability of him winning this tournament?
You could just say that.
Yeah. Let us know, Chris Mir. If you have any stats, send them all over, because I know that you're always very, very big on them. But let's look at Dominic Koepfer. He came up against Cam Norrie, and after beating Raonic, I didn't really see it going any other way. Bear in mind, Koepfer hasn't dropped a set so far in this, and he's played fair enough. The first round was a Lopez of Villasenor, pretty much, but it's still 6-4, 6-2, same scores against Raonic. So not really. He was just warming up then, and then he took out Cam Norrie. Cam Norrie, he could have possibly beaten Koepfer in my mind, but once you've beaten Raonic in my mind, you're nearly there, and only people like someone like a Zverev, top 10 people.
Mate, on his day, Koepfer's better. I'll be entirely honest. However, right here, Zverev for me is the favourite, very strong favourite. Let's have a look at his results, because he's been quite fortunate, really, with Casper Ruud withdrawing. I think he got on the court. I didn't see how it was so late at night, but I think he got on the court, and before they started, he just pulled out. So he got all the way to start. Well, it is lucky, because I had Casper Ruud beating Zverev.
Not for me.
But I personally, like before the tournament in the bracket, I had Casper Ruud. I'm not that sure it's going to happen, obviously. I think he would have given it a really good match. I generally believe so much in Casper Ruud, same for his wrist.
But there's part of me that thinks Koepfer will give Zverev a better match than
not for me.
Well,
I think Ruud beats Koepfer comfortably.
Maybe, but
clay or hard.
You can't do tennis maths on us, because I think the way he's playing Dominic Koepfer in this tournament, he hasn't dropped a set. He's fresh and he's not dropping sets. He just beat a guy in a big server and in Milos Raonic comfortably. He looks like he's going to have a lot of confidence, and Zverev didn't even get to go out to play for his last match. So maybe there might be a little bit of, I'm not going to say rusty, but he might not be in as great a form because he didn't even play a last match. And this Koepfer might just be able to hit the court running and maybe able to nick a first set. Who knows? If
Mate, you know what Zverev's like. You really do know what he's like, and he is shaky as hell. Ability-wise, if Zverev's serving well, it's game over. I think it'll be a comfortable 2 sets. If he's not, Koepfer, he's going to be in there. He's going to be fighting to the death. And I think he's Mr. Consistent, Koepfer. Yeah. He doesn't really do anything great. He just does everything well. It's effective.
Like you can see here, hasn't had the best of luck.
He's not started. He's not started the year great. He's not started it particularly amazing, but it's been tricky. Obviously, Australian Open playing team. Yeah, it's no chance really. If you're being entirely honest, disappointed in the clay, which I thought he could do a little bit better there. But he's definitely better on the hard courts, and he's shown time and time again what he can do.
Well, exactly. We know that went back in, 2019, when he took that set off Daniel Medvedev. Look
at that in Rome, though. In Rome was the real standout, wasn't it? He obviously beat Musetti, then Monfils, Dimonor, Kukushkin, Gilles Simon.
Took a set
off Djokovic. So that's when he was really firing and playing well. But before that, it was against Medvedev, like you say, in the US Open. He's certainly got enough ability. I think it's going to be straight set Zverev, though. So potentially we could be, for me, I'm going to probably be playing boring. Zverev Tsitsipas final, number 1 seed versus number 2 seed. However, my heart would love to see Koepfer Musetti. I think that is the more exciting of the two.
I think the more.
Let's give them 2 a chance.
It's really hard to. Well, I can argue a case for both. That's the thing. I could argue a case for Koepfer and Musetti both making it to the final, because we know, even though these guys like not Raonic, like Zverev and Tsitsipas, even though they're top 10, they're still not consistent enough for my liking. they're great players, but they're not consistent enough to just say, oh, they're guaranteed finalists. For me, they have off days far too often. So for me, it's all up in the air. Could be, I say I'd go Zverev into the final 70-30, and I'd go Tsitsipas maybe less, maybe a 65-35.
Okay.
So
And Chris is saying there, Stefanos looks good, but he has to be careful in a decisive tiebreak. You can see in the posted table. I think he posted a table on my Twitter.
Do you want to send it to me? I might be able to bring it up.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's on my Twitter, mate. It's from the pinned tweet. The only thing is, it's difficult to really interpret. I've still not got my head around working it out. So we might need to have a lesson from Chris before we do that. He's also saying Mussetti's serve is very bad, as you can see from the table, and Tsitsipas probably will break many times. And I have noticed that with Mussetti in terms of, I wouldn't say it's very bad. I think he's got an alright serve, but it's not. It's a bit of a weakness. If he wants to compete with the best, he definitely needs to improve his serve, especially on hard courts. You get away with it on the clay courts. Yeah. On the hard, you're going to get exposed. If you're not serving like some of the other big guys, you're going to get found out more times than not, especially against the good returners. Look at, say, a Musetti versus a Karatsev, and I think it spells bad things for Musetti.
Oh, exactly. Even someone like Tsitsipas, to be honest, if he's playing his best tennis, then he'll probably.
But I think Tsitsipas is prone to get broken too.
I think he can. I think this is it. It's all just dependent. But Tsitsipas has a great first serve. It's just whether or not he does enough with his second serve. If he doesn't, Musetti is going to really be rocketing the ball towards him. So I think it's very interesting. I think if we don't see the best Tsitsipas, we could be in for a real thriller. And it could just go all the way to 3, all the way to the wire. But more than likely, there's going to be a strong serving Zverev waiting in the final for either of them.
So if you had to give your actual final say on it?
Mate, well, I'll go big. I'd say I'm a chancer, aren't I? And he's my guy. I've always been singing his praise from the start. I'll go Musetti Zverev final.
Okay. So you're thinking there's more chance Musetti beats Tsitsipas than Koepfer beats Zverev?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, he's gone all out on a wing. I'm playing it for it. I'm going Tsitsipas Zverev. But I would love to see the opposite. But let's see what happens with that. Let's move over to Dubai now. We did a live watch along for it earlier.
Yeah,
one of the semi-finals, and it was just amazing. I also know we've got some South Africans in the chat, so shout out to you guys. You got Gene there as well. It's a big day for South Africans. Yeah. They've got Lloyd Harris in a final.
Let's speak about Lloyd Harris as we did the match.
And that must be his first final, right?
No, his second.
His second final
against Rublev, the other one, wasn't it? And he got. He's probably glad that he's not facing him, but he's going to be facing somebody else in arguably better form than Rublev, which is a bit scary. But we'll speak about Rublev in a little bit. We've got a few things we need to speak about with him. Let's just have a look. Obviously, Lloyd Harris, he knocked out Denis Shapovalov, and that was earlier on today in an impressive match, really, all the way down to the wire in that final tiebreak, and did well. He lost the first set and came back, so proves he's got resolve as well. This guy's not just a big server who just gets the lead and then maintains it. Comes back from the brink. Did sort of against Nishikori as well in the last round. Really good.
It's big for Harris as well. I'm looking here on the live thing, and I believe he's going to be 52 in the world.
Yes.
He's 81 there. It's remarkable. He's now coming close to the top 50, and he definitely deserves to be there. If he's going toe-to-toe with number 12 in the world, Shapovalov, why not, mate? I know it was very clutch at the end. I thought Shapo, I don't know, it was so tight, wasn't it? I know we was watching it just before we had to go live, and it was hard to call at any stage. I think Harris's serving's just really come on massively, and he's serving so strongly. He's just a pain, mate. No one really wants to play him. He's that good.
No, definitely. I remember him when he was lurking in and around just outside the top 100. And even then we were sort of speaking about him, saying that on the Challenger Tour, he was just a nightmare for everybody to play. He just didn't want to play him.
He was too good, wasn't he? Yeah.
Indoor hard courts, he batters the ball so hard. It was just the serving from him there was just amazing.
He's a big guy, though, isn't he? He's got like a big frame.
Yep. So I'm not.
And what's the most impressive win for you? If you go on his head-to-head,
Sure.
Probably got to be the team one, isn't it? I don't know. He's beating so
Has
many
to
top
be,
players.
really. I mean, look how many wins he's got there. I mean, even getting through a couple of people, Gabiashvili, Blazrola, and then Chris O'Connell gave him a really good match as
Yeah.
well. Took him to
Played well,
3.
O'Connell.
But then Dominic Thiem, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, we can say, oh, Dominic Thiem, well, he didn't really shut, but any sort of form of Dominic Thiem is probably heads and shoulders above a lot of people on tour. And he beat him in straight sets, so you got to give him credit for that. And you can only beat the guy that stood in front of you, and he beat him in straight sets. So I think well played. And Krajinovic, even better, because Krajinovic wasn't compromised in any way. Swept him aside. For me, the Nishikori one was super impressive because Nishikori came back and looked like he was on top in that match.
It's not just that. Nishikori's he's back. He's actually back. He's playing again like he was when he was a top 10 player. He seems to be well within it again. I'm really excited to see what this next year happens with Nishikori. I think he's going to be challenging again, personally. But let's see what happens there. Shout out to the South Africans in the chat. We've got 3 of them. We've got Sanko.
Nice.
We've got Jean. And then we've also got midfield maestro from Johannesburg. It's pretty
cool. Perfect. Well,
they've got the Vuvuzela out. That's what I want to know for Lloyd Harris.
Please don't get that out. We all know who you'll be cheering on tomorrow anyway. Lloyd Harris, well, best of luck to him. But he could have his work potentially cut out against who's now the favourite in the final. That man. Aslan, the cat, Karatsev. And,
is he actually the favourite?
He is. He's 1.44 at the moment. Wow. I know it's quite a heavily favourite.
Back. Yeah.
I'm surprised actually. I mean, the way he played today, I think he's warranted. Really, though. I mean, we can't mess about. We were watching the match live, and it was something off another planet. Some of the stuff he was playing. Yeah. Like you can see there. Oh, I'll just bring that down there.
So he's currently 31, I believe, in the world. Karatsev now. If he wins the title, I think he goes to 27. So he's creeping up. And there was a graphic. I don't know if I can find it now. It was just unbelievable to see the rise of him. Just bear with me a sec.
It's just unbelievable, mate. I can't believe it. As you see there, going across the bottom of the screen as well, you've got the race to Turin, which, as you can see, Karatsev currently 300 points behind Tsitsipas. He would be able to close the gap. Obviously, Tsitsipas is in a semi-final himself, so be able to close it a little bit, the gap, if he was to win, and hope Tsitsipas didn't win the tournament. He needs to try and close that gap. But,
mate, I'll send it to you if you want to share it, but because it is really epic. And it just shows, it really illustrates the rise of Aslan Karatsev. You see him today. He hit something like, I think it's like 40 winners or something. It was just electric. And we watched it, obviously. We saw all of them. I felt like it was more. I felt like every other shot was a winner. Just pinging them and smashing them all around the court. And here we have our great Jose Morgado, legend of the Twitter game. And he's just expressed it there. August 23rd, he was 253 in the world. The next day, he's already broken the top 200. And then he's pushing by the end of the month to 140. He's already pushing the top 100 by August, the end of August. What a week that was. Cool. September, he's then getting closer and closer. It then gets to February 22nd, and obviously Australian Open. It all kicks off for him this year, and he's then broke 42.
I know.
Now he's 33rd because he's in the final. Now 27 if he wins the title. So the rise of Aslan Karatsev is kind of unprecedented. I don't know if anyone in the chat has got any similar story to this. Personally, in my lifetime, I've never seen something like it. Someone who's played tennis for so long. He's just been on the tour, nodding around the challengers, just doing his own thing. He's probably never even had to answer any interview questions. Now he does. Doesn't know what to do.
I know. It's taken him 6-7 months to crack about 220 places or 230 places in the rankings. He's managed to move up, which is incredible. I would like to say I'm surprised, but there's part of me that isn't. There's part of me that isn't surprised based upon how well. Remember that run of form he had last year, where it just was literally it went off the screen how many wins in a row he had. I think he had one loss to Stan Wawrinka, but that was it in the whole of his summer. And with that type of form in last year, when everybody else was sort of struggling to play, struggling to get going, he's taken full advantage of it. And he's like the player you don't want to play right now if you're on tour. Like the only person who's dealt with him is Djokovic.
He's just literally just been born. I feel like he's just been born into playing like a brilliant tennis player since COVID.
Born again.
Yeah, he is. It's unbelievable. And LS Fire summarized it perfectly there. His average forehand speed has been 127 kilometers an hour. The average backhand speed is not much less, 120 kilometers an hour. That's the average. He's just whipping the ball around.
Today were 145 kilometers an hour off both sides. He was winners. Rublev didn't know what hit him earlier on.
No, he didn't. He really didn't. He was in shock, I felt.
It was scary though. That was the whole thing. It was actually, I think he was actually a little bit just taken back by how well, even though it's his doubles partner, how well he was playing against him. He probably didn't even think, God, yeah, this is going to be like a real tough match. He probably thought, yeah, he's probably going to come at me, but I'm going to have a bit too much for him. Surely I've got all the experience in these ATP 500s. No. That's not what happened. Karatsev turns up again and just put on a bit of I'd say a bit of a clinic, to be honest. I think that the way that he played was not like somebody who was 250 in the world seven months ago. It was like somebody who is top 30, maybe if not higher, top 20 or something. It was, wow. I mean, the comparisons with Fabio Fognini in his type of best form, that's all I could give him, that higher praise, the way he was playing today. Fabio Fognini has that similar action, similar power. And
I think you're doing a disservice to Karatsev. I don't think he even reached that height. Karatsev was playing. I don't want to get too carried away. I honestly don't know who beats him right now. Like, no offense, if he plays like he did today and he's whipping the ball around, who can even stop it? You can't. There's nothing you can do. You just sit there and watch. You're going to say Novak Djokovic can stop it. And we've seen already he can, but
stop it, I think.
No, mate, I really don't. Like, he's that good.
Mate,
he can't be stopped. Mate, Karatsev can't be stopped.
We picked holes in the game plan that he was playing. Rublev, it wasn't all just Karatsev playing great. It was Rublev and some signs that he still needs to improve as well in his game. He was still showing signs that he wasn't making adjustments. Karatsev, they showed the graphic. He served 100% of the time, his second serve, down the middle of the service box. And yet, every time he did it, Rublev was still hitting the return long. I mean, if that's not a bad adjustment and not noticing a pattern of like your opponent's shots, you have to have that onboard computer. Someone in the top 10, you cannot have that type of play, because any of the top players, they're never going to give you that. You're never going to get the same serve from Novak Djokovic, from Rafael Nadal, even from Zverev, Tsitsipas. They're not going to give you the luxury of knowing where they're going to put the ball. And the fact that Karatsev gave him the luxury and he didn't take it, I was disappointed. I have to say, disappointed.
Mate, I kind of agree with you. I think I'm definitely going. I think Jackie sums up. I'm going a bit Karatsev mad. He's in my head and I can't get him out, mate. Every time I close my eyes, I just hear that whipping forehand of Aslan Karatsev right now.
Yeah.
He's just dominating my life.
Mate,
he's that good.
It's enough to get carried away just watching him hit winners. But let's not forget, he did hit quite a few unforced errors as well. But that wasn't the story of the match. The story of the match was the fact that he literally had his way with Andrei Rublev, really. And the baseline rallies were dictated by Karatsev, not Rublev. And Rublev struggled to get inside the baseline. He was on the back foot for the majority of the match. And that's credit to Karatsev. He was the one who dictated the whole match. So can he do it?
Final day, mate. What's going to happen? Is Karatsev going to be able to beat Lloyd Harris?
For me, if he plays the same way, yes.
So I need your final prediction. I'm going to go straight bold. Karatsev beats him comfortably in crazy fashion. He continues in the same form as today. Tight cloak first set. obliterates him in the second, 6-1 or something.
It could well be. I reckon we need to put a bit more respect on Harris because he's such a great server. If he continues his great serving, you got to remember the nerves might come into it as well. We saw Karatsev wasn't the best with his nerves today. Double faulted a lot during trying to serve out sets. I think Harris can win a set. It may be the first set. I think Karatsev will do like he did against Sinner. If he loses the first set, he'll come back and win in 3. That's where I see it going.
Yeah, Sanko sums it up. Karatsev favourite, but you never really know.
No, you don't.
So let's see what happens with that. In other news, before we get on to some other bits, I just want to quickly touch on Miami. Obviously, it's a Masters event. It's coming thick and fast.
Yep.
Very soon. And we're going to be seeing another one dropped out. Novak Djokovic recently dropping out. And that sort of leads to a really impressive stat I prepared. And that's Djokovic, Nadal, Federer will not attend a Masters 1000. And the last time that happened was Paris, Bercy, 2004.
Wow.
So it was 138 Masters ago.
Oh,
so it's been 138 Masters. And it's never, ever been a case of no Djokovic, Federer or Nadal.
Mate.
There's going to be a new winner, isn't there? Unless it's Medvedev.
Going to be some happy people out there looking to get their first Masters. I think. Well, I can't wait to see the field. I can't wait to see who gets entered in as a wild card potentially into this tournament.
Well, we have the seeds. So if I tell you the top seeds,
sure, go for it.
You've got this. So the top 8 seeds at the moment are number 1 Medvedev, 2 Tsitsipas, 3 Zverev, 4 Rublev, 5 Schwartzman, 6 Berrettini, 7 Agut, and 8 Shapovalov. That's the current seeds anyway. So, yeah, you see how it goes. Personally, I'm going to be going all out number 1 seed Medvedev. I think now Djokovic has dropped out. Medvedev's going to be the favourite.
Well,
he just needs to show his class. He needs to turn up. It is a big event. It's a Masters one. But could we see a new Masters champion? I know we've seen, it's obviously quite historic as well, this Masters, for the fact that so many top 100 players have dropped out. I think it's 27 top 100 players have already dropped out. Which is a bit disappointing, to say the least. But it happens, mate. We're in a time where coronavirus and all this stuff going on. I think people are really traveling to Miami right now.
No, I mean, it is a little bit sad. I mean, I can bring up some of the...
You got Murray. Murray's the wild card.
I know. I feel bad. Like, I don't know if I want to see... I don't know if I want to see Murray keep going like this.
Harry's asking for a Musetti wild card. That could be awesome.
Yeah,
I'd love to see him there.
Well, let's just have I just want to go and have a quick look back through some of the winners in there, so that we can see the high stock of the people who have been winning that tournament. And like
John Isner sneaked one.
He snuck in there, didn't he? That was a big Serbian final against Alex Zverev.
There had to be a tie break in that one, didn't there?
Lost it though. That's a bit unusual, but there you can see Novak, Roger Federer beating John Isner again. There's John Isner loves it there. Maybe John Isner will be in the final. So Federer's, Djokovic's, your Murray's, Andy Roddick, he's been there a couple of times. Davydenko, Sampras, and Agassi's. So no.
And then look at 2020, mate. Didn't happen, did it?
No, it didn't. But look, Nadal's been a runner-up quite a few times. Maybe, well, is he going to get a chance to win it before retirement this tournament? Surely. He needs to get in there.
Probably not. I don't know. It's not really one he's going to benchmark too much. I think the timing of it before Roland Garros is not really a priority.
No, exactly. Well, yeah, I thought it'd just be interesting to have a look. And you see Nishikori there. Nishikori back in 2016.
Wait, could Nishikori do something special?
You never know, mate. He's still on the comeback, so don't...
I think Chris said he's a bit fragile, and I kind of do agree a little bit. I do think he's definitely going to be back. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him have a quarterfinal run or something special like that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But for me, looking at that 8, the one I want to pick out, obviously Medvedev's my main one.
Yeah.
The one I want to watch out for, I think, is Shapovalov. Just watch out. He's got that wow factor. He could do something special. And then Rublev as well. Never rule him out.
Rublev's going to be...
This could be maybe his best chance of winning a Masters, to be fair, while the big 3 are still actively playing.
Could be. You're right. Yeah, I mean... And all of these players are going to want to win it. The fact that there's no big 3 there as well. What better opportunity to get in and nick a Masters than when you don't have to play one of those 3. So, but Medvedev, he's sort of a Masters champ. Sorry, I was just bringing up the brackets there so that you could have a quick look of what was going on over in the two brackets at the moment. Thought that was
So we touched on the Dubai one. Looking at Acapulco, Team Groves leading right now. If you want to click on the picks, we'll see what people have. I think, so if Tsitsipas wins, Team Groves is the champion there. If Zverev wins, Big Al. It's between them two, I believe.
Anybody got anyone more interesting?
No, it's all pretty same old.
I'm not sure anyone knew where Musetti was in the draw, so I don't think
no one would have really had it. There's you, 29.
Right.
With Harry Carrillo. I think I'm below you, mate. But the difference for me is I've got Tsitsipas. So if Tsitsipas wins the whole thing, I'll probably go above you. But if you don't, I won't.
I had Raonic, mate, and he got done, and Dimitrov there as well. So absolutely screwed. No worries, no worries. Let's move back to the other side and look who's leading. I know we discussed it a little bit earlier. We had JG leading the way. Does that mean, is it guaranteed? Is it done or done and dusted?
Yeah, it's done. It's done and dusted, mate.
There it is, mate. So looks like nothing can change now on this bracket. Chris Hansen moved up to third, and that was about it, really. JG leads the way. Second overall in the whole of the world. But first
world bracket. It's annoying I couldn't clinch it. I think that's my only chance really of winning the overall bracket out of everyone. But it was okay.
14th for me. Not too great. Got George there in 18th. Jack's down there. 23rd, obviously Rublev the winner for we got Mary Sky there.
Who's bottom? I obviously know my tennis.
Obviously.
Yeah, there he is. Bashvili and Cecchinato final.
Bashvili is not the worst selection. Now.
It's not as crazy anymore, is it?
What I want to know is how did he finish below someone who had no picks? That's what that's what was more interesting on this. So
I like this new nickname from Thomas Rock, J Genius.
Oh dear God. Right.
No, anyway, let's move on from that. And let's move over to the women's. We've not spoke about the women's. Yes. I know we've already had a 40-minute podcast already, so we're going to cut it. We're just going to quickly go through all these ones. And we've got a few going on right now. We've got semi-finals, do we? And do you want to start off with Monterrey?
Is that the semi? Is that the semis or is it the quarters?
I don't know. If you get it up, mate, I'll be able to see.
No, bear with me 1 second.
I'm losing track myself. I know we've got Lee. Lee's still in it, which is exciting.
Lee is smashing it, mate.
I think Lee wins the tournament.
Yeah, I think so as well, mate. So as you can see here, I'll just make it a bit smaller so you can see better.
Golubic, I had her. She's a really good player.
Yeah.
Watch out for her, but I still think Lee wins. I really do. I don't know if we're going to get up the draw, mate, so we can actually see what's going on in terms of where we're at.
I'll just bring up the what? Do you want to see the?
You can do it on tennis. It's up to you, mate. I don't know. We've got Leylah Fernandez playing right now. Looks like she's won that match, 5-1 up in the second set. You'd expect her to beat Kuzmova. No offense.
So Monterrey first. Okay, I can bring up the draw on the whatchamacallit. The draw bracket, whatever it's called.
We've got Jackie saying, I'm now sulking because my bracket's 23rd place. It's humiliating. It happens, Jackie. Don't worry about it. Sanko saying, when will Felix make his breakthrough? I think he's already broken through. He's been getting to finals. Yeah. He just needs to get one over the line. Maybe a Manny. Could he do something special? Win a Masters in his first one.
Yeah.
So there we go. So what's that? Keep going. One more. What's that? The quarterfinal or semi?
Well, that's what Anne Lee is into the semi-final.
Okay, so she's in the semi-final. You got that one happening at midnight. Golubic, Kalinskaya. Yeah. So I reckon Golubic can do it personally.
Yeah, well, Kalinskaya's been playing really well as well, though. So I wouldn't be shocked if Kalinskaya.
That's more for my bracket, though. Golubic is who I've got.
So we could have either of those going to be facing Anne Lee, who I fancy to go to the final. To be honest, now
I think she wins the whole thing. And at the top, you've got Sorribes Tormo. Has been quite fortunate having a walkover. I think she'll be reaching the semi-final there.
She's against...
Smedlova's done really well. Didn't anticipate her to go so far. And then Leylah Fernandez. So it could be seeing Leylah Fernandez at the bottom and Sorribes Tormo.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, Sorribes Tormo has just won a tournament. Could she be winning back-to-back WTA tournaments? You don't really see that often.
I fancy Anne Lee, to be honest, though, mate. I think that she's going to be hard to beat. She's looking in the best format of everybody in this tournament
Agreed.
so far.
I have Lan Lee, to be fair, so I'll be
someone
quite
I'd love to get onto the podcast, to be honest. I'd love to chat to her and find out, her sort of rise to fame, really. She's been sort of a superstar as of last year, really. She's broken onto the scene. I really think it'd be great to find out how she's managed to do it. And she's still quite a young player as well, 20 years old, I believe. So I think the sky's the limit for Anne Lee. And she keeps playing like this. I think if she gets a tournament win here, she's off to the races. So
and I can confirm the winner of the bracket. Well, the person leading the bracket right now is 12 Travel 21, and you've got George McCauley right behind. 12 Travel 21's got Anne Lee, and George McCauley's got both of them out. So it's looking really good. I think 12 Travel 21 has won the bracket personally, unless Leylah Fernandez. If Leylah Fernandez wins the whole thing, then CGS wins the whole thing.
She's serving for the match at the moment. She's 7-5, 5-1 at the moment.
So CGS or 12 Travel 21. It's between them two to take this bracket. It's all on Anne Lee or Fernandez. Whoever out of them two wins.
Yeah. Wow.
So moving over to the other one in Russia.
Oh, I'll just get rid of that one. Apologies.
It's all good.
Into St. Petersburg.
Into Russia, you can see who's winning there. It's the WTA expert.
Yeah.
We got John Lupo, the WTA expert. Don't know where he's come from. I've not seen him many before, but he seems to be a bit of an expert.
Only turns up on the WTA ones, mate. That's why I've seen it.
Yeah, but he's not in the other WTA one. I don't know where he's come from.
I don't know, mate.
He's not in Monterey, is he?
No, he's joint top with Mikey Matter and Jemias, though.
Oh.
So,
and I'm looking now, and it seems to me that John Lupo's won. Unless Kasatkina wins, and if Kasatkina wins, I think Shaddai might win.
Yeah, well, Shaddai is
so it's between Shaddai and John Lupo for me to win this. Both done well. The Russians are flying, mate, and it's not the Russians we anticipated. I think we both thought either Alexandrova, Kudermetova. There was some other, Pavlyuchenkova as well. All of them out. And we're left with Kuznetsova, Zvonareva, and Kasatkina. Fiona Ferro's out as well. It's been a bit of a weird tournament. I've not really watched much of it, but it looks like now potentially it could be, I don't know who could win. Maybe Kasatkina.
Mate, I think she could really. I really think she could win. Kasatkina.
And we've got Shaddai in the chat now. Yeah, I think it's a good pick. I think she could win. I think you, Shaddai, have a good chance of winning this whole thing, personally.
Well, Kasatkina, she's only lost once in the past. 10 matches. She's lost once. So, and that was to Elise Cornet. And she obviously won in Melbourne, and lost in the first match in Dubai, as people normally do once they won a tournament. Now she's back on the warpath again. I think she could easily win it. Kuznetsova, though, good choice too. She's a bit more old school. So.
Let's see what happens with that one, mate. I think it's all to play for. Well done to everyone who's in that little battle there. Certainly not me or Ben. I think we went too mainstream for that.
Yeah, mate. Just before we pack up for today, I know that it's sort of the time has passed a little bit, but I just wanted to not let it pass too much longer. I know that you guys always want to know about young players, great up and coming players, someone that we have spoken about in the past on the podcast, but I don't think that we've really gave him his due. He won his first Challenger tournament, which was, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So Carlos Gemino Valero is the guy's name. And here he is, the 19-year-old from Spain. And let's just go back. And you can see it was a challenger in Gran Canaria there. And a really, really good people in that challenger. He had Constant Lestienne. He had Federico Gaio, Giannessi, Kavcic, and then beats Kopians in the final in straight sets. And this is a guy who, I think Kopians wasn't he the qualifier? He qualified for the Australian Open. He's more of a clay courter, and he absolutely battered him in that final. And this kid has been really on my radar for, I'd say, a good part of a year, maybe even 18
I think 2
months
years,
now.
personally.
Yeah,
I feel like it's been longer because I remember it was when I first started work.
no,
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while. Gimeno Valero, you've definitely been talking about him for a while, and he certainly is the real deal. Looks like he's going. He's playing at the moment.
yeah,
I
that's what
just
I was
said
going to
that.
say. Apologies. Yeah, I'll just go back to that. Uh,
It's interrupted. It seems
well,
Pedro. He's up. He's beating him as well.
against Cashin as well, and that's a really good
It's a good clay
Argentinian player.
quarter. Yeah,
Yeah, really
he lost
good.
the whole Garoon there. I can see.
Yep.
Which can happen. But he's going again on the ITF circuit, and he's already gone through the first 2 rounds.
And he's
And look
into
at the way he's done
Yeah,
them.
mate.
6-1, 6-1, 6-love, 6-1. The guy's a beast. The guy
Mate.
is an absolute beast. He's 19. This is where Aslan Karatsev was playing not too long ago, around the 300 mark. This is the type of people he was playing against. So don't put any disrespect on these guys. Watch out, Gimeno Valero. I mark your words, and Ben will agree with me. 2 years' time, we'll see this guy in the ATP Major Draw, playing in the big events and challenging. I think he's that good. He's really good, an exciting player. Hopefully, he can be the new Musetti and break into the top 100. I don't think this year's too soon. Next year, potentially.
Well, he definitely has all the potential, and you can see Federico Coria. He's been sort of now established in ATP main draw.
Well, where's Coria in the world? Must be top 100, isn't he?
Yeah, he's top 100. But he beat him 6-4, 6-4, 6-1. He's still learning his trade at the moment, Gimeno Valero. And
Bagnes, look, you guys know Bagnes, just beating the likes of TFO and stuff. He's beating him there. 6-love, 6-2.
Mate, Bagnes. This is a guy, he was just in the final of an ATP event last week, wasn't it?
Yep.
And look, let's put some
ATP finalist.
Chris O'Connell, another person, really great player. We know Enzo Kokar, another great, but these are all straight sets wins. Obviously, he came up against Damir Juma, but then lost. But this is what I mean. There's a bit of a topsy-turvy in some of his results.
But that's because of his age. He's 19 years old. It happens to all the best of them. Sinner's a bit of an exception in terms of how consistent he is for his age. But yeah, no, mate, it's a good spot. Someone we definitely want to highlight. And like me and Ben were saying, if we're going to do our Wall of Fame, Gimeno Valero is another one who's definitely going to be top 5 somewhere around there.
Yeah, he'll be on there, and he'll be one just to keep your eyes peeled for, especially on the clay courts, because he absolutely loves it there. So, but I think that's enough from us for tonight, or this morning, or wherever you are in the world. You might be gearing up for a few hours' time for the start of the Acapulco matches. Good luck to everybody who is involved in those matches, and whoever you've picked, whoever you've put money on, and whoever's in your bracket. But we'll just have to wait until tomorrow. I'll probably be bringing you the final of the Dubai Open, which is Aslan Karatsev and Lloyd Harris. So make sure you join us for that one.
Yeah, guys, look forward to seeing you soon. We'll also be doing some draw previews for Miami, women's and men's. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, let's see what can happen. Can Aslan the Lion do it again? Or is Lloyd Harris going to do something what he's not been able to yet and win a title? Find out tomorrow.
See you then, guys.